All right, we got Linda on the call. I think that's virtually.
That is quorum 5.
Yeah, we're good.
It's 4 o'clock. This is the meeting of the Economic Vitality team in Hendersonville, North Carolina, October 7th. The minutes are in front of you and up on the screen. Review, approve. Move to approve. Second. All right, you are approved. This week, we are still working on our vacancy policy, building maintenance. And nothing new, really to update on that one. Let's see.
Yeah, and this is what I didn't have printed, but
Yeah, here we go.
yeah, we want to go on and talk with, or whatever you want to talk about with the homeless.
Okay, I wanted to bring up something that came up like before the summer. This might have been last year too, but we were talking with the police in here last year one time about the homelessness in Hendersonville. And we talked with the police and got their perspective on kind of what they can do and when they can get involved. And it's kind of at the intersection between homelessness and criminality. There has to be something that they're breaking before the police can like act and you know, there's things that we can do, like putting up a no trespassing sign and things like that. But from my store at White Duck, I noticed a pretty significant increase from this year compared to last year. We have like what we call a pay it forward board where customers can put tickets up there if they don't want to interact with, you know, hey, can I get something to eat, you know? That thing's been filling up pretty good. And if somebody comes to me and it's empty, you know, I'll still give them something to eat. Last year and up until now, I would do that maybe once a day, 5 times a week, something like that. Now it's like up to 10 times a day. It's at least like 5 people every day. Word's gotten out.
Same people, you think?
So word's gotten out a little bit, and I do see some of the same faces where like White Duck is an okay space to go. It ain't. But I see a lot of new faces. I see a lot of people passing through and a lot of people that I don't see ever again. And once it became a thing where, you know, okay, I don't want the, you know, teenager that I have on the register, like interfacing with these people, I kind of just start hanging out and I introduce myself to everybody and I do the handoff and I kind of lay out expectations, and say, you know, just please keep it clean and we can keep doing this sort of thing. But, a lot of times I think that me or business owners in general are kind of first contact for some of these people that are newly homeless. I want to celebrate what the city has been doing with what we already have in place, especially with the housing authority. There's those kind of single family little units that are brick on like Harris Street and Fifth between Williams and downtown. And the ones over by the Boys and Girls Club, those are like tremendous for just working families. I've employed a few people that have lived there, 5 or 6, and they're all just working class families that would be really, really vulnerable for being homeless if we didn't have something like that in place. So things like that, like the Gray Mill apartments are, I think, an excellent use of the city's resources. It's a good look and it's something that like has a direct impact like immediately. I think it's a good use of tax dollars. So I kind of want to just get ideas or get a feel for what the city's interest is in kind of the ongoing problem, homelessness.
Yeah, and I when you brought it up to me before, I hadn't had a chance to ask if like police have data on any kind of like uptick. But I had noticed, and this is just me personally noticing, like after the last Rhythm and Brews, like going up Main Street at like 11 o'clock at night, it seemed significantly more than I had noticed in previous times. And I don't know if you've noticed an uptick.
Yeah, it's pretty surprising. Like for a couple of different random reasons, I've looked at I have one camera on Main Street.
Mhm.
And had to fast forward to look into some situation like late at night, like 2 AM. Like, there's a lot of action.
Activity.
Yeah, and I don't ever remember like after Rick and Bruce seeing it like that.
We have my camera can see the broader part of the sidewalk. We have 3 tape there. You can see the benches a little bit further down as well, rather than for citizens.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, there's really only like 2 or 3 that are they're comfortable there and they know us and they're there like every day.
Yeah,
I mean, one of them, Scott, who, you know Scott by name, but
sure.
he was really harmless for a long time. Severely mentally ill. He got a job with Parks and Rec for a little bit, and he was really proud of it. He came in because he was in a bad way, and we were really nice to him, and he said he got a job, really proud of it, and then he took a turn and has been arrested a couple of times, and he's still around, and we've had to ask him to not come in the store unless he needs help, basically. And there's, like I said, a handful of people like that we know. And then there's these groups of younger people who are just very limited time here. Sometimes it's a day, sometimes it's a couple of weeks.
In Asheville, they call them training kids and they just.
Yeah.
Pass it through. Mhm.
We could, I mean, I could ask, it would all be anecdotal, just find out what our numbers are in terms of calls, what kind of housing cases, which would be too broad, but I think we can, without digging too deeply, because we're not allowed to dig too deep, maybe find out.
Yeah, and I know there's a group that meets, and I'm not sure how regularly, if it's a quarterly or every other month, where it's like a lot of the homeless services that meet related to that. And I just haven't had the ability to catch up with what their updates are for it.
So that's kind of like what I'm interested in is something, what can we do that's like actionable that can directly help people? What's something that's like, maybe we don't have to spend money to do it. We don't have the power to like spend money. We're not city council here, but concentrating the resources like that, like just having a list of here's some places you can go, here's some things that people do. And then other initiatives, like I said, the housing authority is also, all those houses are put to good use. Like there's some drug activity out there, but it's still just people. And when that happens, they tend to not stick around for very long. Something happens, they get arrested, and then they get, they're on a good rule set with the housing authority for all of that. And then somebody that it tremendously benefits goes in there.
And I know the police are in the process of, it was through an intern, but then now they're actually hiring a social worker in the police department. And so I think I don't know if the application's still open or if they're reviewing them or not. So
What does that?
huh?
Heard about Silva doing that.
Yeah, that's what it was kind of copied off of through Western, like they did through their social work program. And so that might be something that we might, whenever that person gets hired, that might be worth it to bring them in to this group just to kind of see, because, like you said, a lot of the downtown businesses are kind of a front line. So if y'all can at least have whatever access of information to
Right,
current people.
that's good money, that's smart money. Because we've just lost 3 of our social workers to this, federal grants that we cut. So the idea of maybe hiring one, but then bringing them in is a good idea, because not unlike the ambassador program thing we were talking about last year and the year before. I mean, we could distribute our rack cards to businesses on Main Street, because, you know, if they are interacting with somebody, they want to give
Yeah.
them something constructive and say, well, you can call these guys, maybe they can help. And I'm careful about that just because of volume capacity.
Mhm.
But I can ask them if that's something we could, you know, distribute in some logical way to the merchants on Main. We can do that.
We had an idea of that last year, and I went around to like a couple churches and said, like, you know, you guys do a weekly meal, and a few of them were receptive and a few of them were like, no. And I think I'm envisioning something exactly like that, like a card, a laminated thing, and it's like, here's some resources where you can go. I don't know if, you know, you have to get someone's permission to put their name on that. I don't know if anyone wants to really volunteer, like, yes, and everybody, you know,
And
even if that's your business.
might be something with that homeless organization group that they might have, so I can check in on that, because there might already exist something that it just needs to get to the businesses that want to
Yeah.
hand stuff out.
Send something, so then they don't have to be just
Yeah.
heavies or the bad guys, they can.
Yeah,
They're doing something constructive too, which helps them, you know, 'cause nobody just wants to say, get off my lawn.
Mhm.
And that was my perspective too, is like, I want to be there for when I have to do that. I don't want the teenager in high school to do that, but
Right,
giving
right.
them something like that would give them an out for when I can't be there, be like, I can't help
I
you,
don't
but
know,
here.
but maybe
Yeah.
these guys can.
Right, that would be a
so you're talking
reason.
about like when people are coming into the business and asking for help,
Yes.
the main thing, okay,
On the low, I just feed people. I say, yeah, just give them.
yeah,
From my employee's perspective, it's like, do what's easiest. Don't
Yeah.
confront anybody, like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
just move it along. And that's usually just feed them and ask them to leave.
What percentage would you think of the ones that you see at the Duck, are obvious mental health cases versus just, you know, out of work, you know, desperate?
It's pretty close to 50-50. Once I figure out that someone is, there's a mental something going on, a small percentage of those are like problematic, a couple, and you tend to like figure out who they are really quickly. A few of them have mental disorders or like severe autism or something like that, maybe, or like a disability that I can't pinpoint, but they tend to just keep to themselves. They don't really bother people. There was a couple in the past years that were, and they're in jail now.
That's what I was gonna ask, is how many are like show you like aggression? Cause I know in
There were-
Nashville, I had several friends that were business owners down there, and that's what it got to the point to where it was unsafe. They were being aggressive towards other clients and towards staff to where it just wasn't safe anymore, but.
Working in Nashville for as long as I did, that is super common, and it's something that like I learned even as an hourly employee, that you just gotta deal with it. And
Yeah, the difference.
That's like once a week.
Yeah.
At our office. I mean, it's helping. If it's so bad, they'll show up and then we gotta like shut the place down because we can lose it.
Yeah, in Asheville, those, the mental health, folks have an inroad to Mission.
Mhm.
And, you know, so that's like a steady stream in and out, getting their services, from the hospital. We don't have anything like that here that I know of.
What about like just with the emergency room or they have a,
There's an actual, area of the hospital is for
oh, I didn't realize.
mental health.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of traffic. My stepson drives, well, 80% of his rides are paid for by Mission. And they call the dispatch, and the dispatch sends out drivers to pick them up, bring them in or take them back home. And some of them are going all the way to Cherokee, Highlands. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's crazy because of the cost involved. But, you know, Buncombe and the state and the feds, whoever are paying for it. But, in our little bubble on Seventh, you know, my number would have been 30%.
30%.
Just
Mental.
from observation and, you know, running into various, characters on the street that, you know. Ours are transitionary as far, it's about 3 months, 3 to 4 months, and you'll see the same faces, all right? Those are the ones going to the mission.
Mhm.
The mission has a percentage of mental health.
Mhm.
And some of them are problematic.
Mhm.
Um,
And do they get to stay there still? Like,
yeah.
Under strict rules, but yeah, they.
I was gonna say, I know they have pretty heavy rules there.
Not on drugs, like, you know, they can still be schizophrenic,
Yeah, of course.
but if, you know, if they're drug-free, alcohol-free, and they got accepted,
Yeah.
then, yep.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they've got disability income that helps pay for their keep.
Hmm.
But, they rotate them. You know, they're not locals.
Hmm.
None, very few, if any, of the people in there are locals.
They have to live in Hendersonville, I think.
Yeah, I think that's part of their,
I wish Nancy. was
While they're here.
That's great.
she's actually on the call,
Here.
joined.
We had, the one that, destroyed the planters in front of the gallery.
Mhm.
He was actually from Missouri.
Hmm.
And his
And-
mother came and picked him up after the police picked, you know, arrested him.
Yeah, I know that they have some type of thing that like, because that's on their web or in their mission of it being
Yeah,
local,
it-
but I'm not sure what they're,
They definitely.
How they define that.
From outside. Well, but
is,
So I will
most of-
add,
Or as you say, they're, you know, low key,
Mhm.
they don't cause any problems, you know, unless it's, you know, sleeping on the sidewalk and the police come shoo them away, or Tim does.
yeah.
so
Was that, oh, go ahead.
it's Linda. So I will say that both Gigi's talked to me probably 3 different times about individuals that's come into Bellwethers. And the last one scared her quite a bit. So I did talk to her about making sure that she has cameras and other things to protect herself. But to also call the police and let them know. But I think she would also be happy to give them something. And, you know, the same thing with Lux Hair Salon. They continually, I've been in there a couple times. I think the guys just like to wander in and look at the girls cutting hair, actually. But it can be challenging there for sure.
So as far as just kind of next steps and everything, just or what I'm aware of from the city side is 1, the social worker, and 2, the cameras.
Yeah,
To at least have, I mean, that's like we were talking about before, they're not monitoring cameras all the time, but then they have the ability to then investigate crimes from that. So those are 2 things that are kind of a more proactive way. I know the police department is understaffed.
Mhm.
And because there used to be a downtown officer and there's plans to have one. And they just can't get staffing in line to keep that operating.
What about maybe this handout or something with immediate resources as
Like-
well?
That's something we can do, you know, actively, yeah, it's not like that. And there's some things that when a city makes a decision that can impact the citizens and the homelessness, like the public restrooms, that's a win-win across the board, you know? It's super important for the homeless, but everybody wants it. There's gonna be a splash pad, you know, just this Monday, this guy very confidently pulled into my back parking lot when we're closed, and I was there doing the truck order. He's like, hey man, can I just spray myself off with your hose real quick? I'm like, no. Like you can't, this isn't where you're gonna get clean, you know, he got mad at me, like, I can almost tell you, man, you can't. But, you know, whatever resource we put out there is gonna be a resource that's utilized by everybody in there, so.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what because I think the splash pad, it was initially gonna be at Patton Park. And Patton Park was underwater.
Yeah,
And so they're deciding on what to do with the pool and everything. So I think there probably will be a splash pad there, but I don't even know what the.
That's through the gate kind of spot.
Oh, yeah, that, because it'll be a part of a park.
soon as they just stand near it.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
instead of a car wash, you could have a human wash.
Yeah.
Like, you go through, soap everybody, and suds them down. See you next week.
And you know, I work out at the pump house and I know Brenda, she'll just let people in. Like, yeah, you can use a shower, just keep it low, you know, but they don't have any resources.
and those aren't things you necessarily want to advertise. 'cause-
No, exactly.
There's a splash pad in the woods across the highway from Lowe's and Target up on 280 over by Sherwin-Williams, the paint store,
Oh, yeah.
down in the woods.
Yeah.
They hang a bucket,
Parking at the Greenway.
An
they
encampment.
hang a bucket up in the tree. They carry in the water. And we pulled back there after picking up a sandwich at the what's in front of the restaurant in front of it there. And we park in the back to eat our lunch, right? And we pulled up and then look over there and there's this guy stark naked with a bucket of water.
Huge guy, dude.
There you go.
Taking a bath.
So when the police are here, you know, the kind of, when it's put to the public, it's kind of like, we don't want to spend money on people causing the problem. Is a general attitude that, you know, comes up when it comes time to spend money. The point the police made was that we're already spending money. Like, if you're not gonna do anything for mental health care, you're gonna be spending it when they get arrested and get sent to the drunk tank. Or steal police attention or something like that, so. What's smart money?
Yeah.
We could spend, what's something that would hopefully save money
Yes.
if this is the problem that we're gonna be spending money, resources on in some way or another.
The smart
That's
money
how-
is housing, services, food and training,
Mhm.
right? And if, you know, too many, well, almost every solution that you'll see in a municipal area is quite the opposite,
Yeah,
right? Nobody's gonna spend money on, you know, low-cost housing solution, you know, give them a place.
Yeah, and I don't have an update on what the city's, because they've got the affordable housing.
there's a lot.
There's a lot going on with it, and I just don't have all the information there. And, you know, a couple years ago, they were gonna do what was it called? Connection Center.
Yeah.
And and do you know anything on that deal? That kind of fell through and then,
Yeah,
uh,
it was a complex real estate.
yeah. So, yeah, I'm not sure what the steps are on that, but I'll find out what the, kind of just when that homeless support organization group meets and if there's any updates I can get from that, because I know there's several people from the city who participate in that. I'm just not sure who all does. I think it's police and probably planning or code enforcement.
Mhm.
Because the code enforcement, they end up spending a lot of time or have on like encampments and cleaning up and that kind of deal. I mean, clean up the encampments, which then just displaces people to another location, but the encampments also create their own set of,
Yeah,
It'd be nice to
Problems.
send out invites to a bunch of people. At least obviously that new
Mhm.
hire sounds awesome.
Mhm.
They're in place, but the mission, Safe Light, like anybody that we can think of that could inform us better of what they do and what we can do or.
for housing, the mission's kind of the only game in town, for super emergency, like homeless. The housing authority and the low income stuff is excellent for that next level up.
They let, again, per rules, don't they let you overnight at Salvation Army or not?
Sure, I asked a church that once and they said there's like a fire code that won't let them
Oh,
have people sleeping and stuff or something. It's not zoned for that or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure at the Salvation Army if that's what they have there.
Yeah,
Does anybody have more information about Safe Flight? I feel like they let, it's women's.
Mhm.
exclusive.
Well-
It's just,
yeah, it's,
Sure.
I mean, it's the same kind of vetting and clearance. They don't,
Yeah,
you gotta get through and qualify.
yeah, I think I would say that probably the ones that people have seen that have been more problematic are probably ones who either want to go into some of the facilities or can't
yes.
because of the restrictions in them, because of how they have acted. So and that's gonna be a problem everywhere, but it,
It's like you just
Kind of is a problem everywhere, but,
in it,
But it's,
secure.
they don't stick around.
yeah,
There were two locals that were clearly schizophrenic and I think they're both in jail right now.
yeah.
I think not in this county.
Yeah, well, and with like what we were saying with having, how there seems to be some new ones coming around, having that kind of handout with the resources, because the old ones, they probably have some familiarity with the resources, but some of the new ones that come around might not. I have a feeling that something like that probably already exists too, and so I'll find out on that. And then, see if there's other folks for coming in, maybe for the next meeting, if there's some advice from them of things that we can do. Is there anything else really related on the kind of the homelessness side of things that seems fitting for
There's a few
talk about?
things that are missing in Hendersonville that other cities have, like a soup kitchen. Things like that are usually citizen initiatives, so. You know, I'd like to find a way to gauge interest for that, or maybe try to organize people into that. But I'll think about ways to do that.
The rescue mission provides 3 meals a day.
Yeah, are they just open to the public?
Pardon me?
Are they just open to anybody?
Yes, anybody can go there to eat, but you have to be from the area to stay there. And when Asheville gets run over by people, they start putting them on the bus and sending them down. And I've seen the mission put them back on the bus and send them back.
That's what I've heard stories of too,
No, I've seen it.
yeah.
So that might be something to have for refer, like when people specifically are asking for food.
Yeah,
Yeah, so maybe that's something we can talk with them about, some information we can get to the businesses, because that seems like just because Nancy, you said they don't turn people away.
Now,
meals.
anybody can go there and eat 3 meals a day, even you.
Yeah, I think that might be a very easy.
Yeah.
Especially for like the restaurants that are giving meals out, like while you,
yeah, something I can tell my people that, so they
Yeah.
don't have to deal with an uncomfortable situation.
yeah,
That's the big stressor for, you know, my front of house people.
yeah.
And are there certain times that they do the meals? Like,
Yeah.
or 5 for the meals, that might be something you need to find out.
Okay, yeah, I'll pull some information together to have for the next time. And see if there's other folks who might be able to come. And hopefully that social worker will be hired and we might can get that person to come to the next one or the one after that.
Very cool.
So yeah, for this meeting, I just kind of had pulled together some other things I've been hearing as far as issues, and this is actually something with Oliver on the notifications for street closures with construction. And it's really happened on your block more than anywhere else, it seems like. Because it's the First Citizens building almost always, and so it
Yeah, they said that big crane up. They set it up at like 4:30 or 5 AM, but it blocks all, I mean, it's right in front of Arabella's, kind of offset from us a little bit, but they closed down the whole block without any notice and didn't have it cleaned up until 1 or 2.
I'm having trouble hearing Oliver. Is he near a microphone?
Sorry about that. No, I brought it to Jamie a little while ago. It was First Citizens Bank on Main Street was doing some serious renovations on their upper floors and on their roof. And without any notice to me, or I don't think any other businesses on our block, set up a massive crane first thing in the morning and blocked the entire block, brought in dump trucks, like one after another all
Yeah.
morning, into the afternoon. And it seemed like they were doing it just in the winter, the exceptionally slow times of the year. But then there was a random one in like April or something.
Yeah, it was when it was starting to get busy and hadn't been informed.
Police weren't there?
Well, they had gotten an encroachment for construction, but from, I guess, Public Works, and no one notified me about it. And no one notified anyone that I'm aware of about it.
Yeah, they had caution tape, like blocking 80% of the way that people get to our store.
Yes.
I
You can
know,
only get.
I gotta move this.
I've had 20 cranes on city streets.
Mhm.
I have never been allowed to move one in without my own flag crew and without the police department.
Yeah,
You just go stand
And
there.
I have to pay for the officer or officers, depending on how big the crane is, to come out and sit on it until
Yeah.
you're done. And it comes out of your pocket.
yeah,
As far as putting it in, there very well may have been a police presence to block off the street when they put it, but it was like I said, like
They're all there.
before the sun.
Wow.
Yeah.
did they ever notify y'all when the block was being put? Cause it was not, that was the time they brought the crane in, but there were other times where they'd had some stuff blocked off over the course of this, whatever they're doing.
Cranes were the ones that stood out. I think
Mhm.
it was 3 different times that
Yeah,
they did that.
but they never notified
They
those
never
times.
talked
Yeah.
anything.
And when that came up, I had told Public Works, I was like, at minimum, they need to if that's happening, they need to let the block know, but also I need to know.
One time, and I think this was longer ago than this year, I remember someone coming when they were doing work on their roof just to touch base and said like, it was like windy and they said, hey, some debris might blow onto your roof,
Mhm,
but we're gonna come get it.
mhm.
They said that, but as far as the Main Street stuff,
Yeah,
I don't remember being
Okay.
warned or spoken to.
yeah, so that's something that I'll,
Go stand right next to them and ask them any questions. No hard hat, no nothing. Just all up in
I'll say
the.
that.
Like, what are you guys up to? Become a liability.
The crews that were there seemed to be very responsible, like they had the huge bucket that was coming down and dropping stuff in the dumpster. And at one point, I was watching and they missed and it like went all over like the street and stuff, but they had like. They like were jumped on it and like got it all cleaned up and didn't leave anything out, so.
yeah,
The people that were there working were very respectful, but, yeah, it's not their call.
yeah, they're not the ones who are, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, so hopefully that won't even be, because there's only so many buildings where that will even be a thing, so that might not be or,
Is there a quick, like, one page to do, or, you know, if you need to work or something closes there, like, something again, that's back to the distribution of everybody needs to have one of those.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I think,
So Phil will quit jacking around.
That's from the building department, you know.
Yeah.
well,
I know.
That- The inspector should have been out there and issued a red tag immediately to stop construction. Get your crane out of here until you have the necessary permits and police guidance.
yeah, and I know that they had gotten approval with Public Works for, like, cause you have to do that for encroachments and stuff, which there's often things that are on the sidewalk that
Oh, yeah.
have not gotten encroachments, and I just kind of look the other way because I don't want them to have to stop their minor repairs on their Main Street business, but when it's closing the block,
Also,
Right.
stuff like that
Yeah.
is typically done at night.
yeah,
After
That's-
11 o'clock,
Yeah,
Do whatever you want.
they roll in,
yeah,
do it, and they gotta be gone by 6.
yeah. I wanted that to not get lost, because that one was a really irritating one. I will say separately from that, because there was another instance where 64 was closed, where they were replacing a window. Actually, it was in Cheryl, who's joined the downtown board, and the Skyline, and DOT closed down 64 and rerouted traffic onto Main Street. And the city was not informed on that until 30 minutes before that happened for the detours for that. So preface to say that can happen on city streets, but then when DOT decides they're gonna do something, we find out like not much earlier than anybody else. But I'm gonna see what else I can find out on that, because that was pretty ridiculous. Cause I would be walking in from the parking garage and I'd see the street being closed down, and that was the first way I found out about it.
We have a line here for street entertainers.
Yeah, so I brought this up at the last downtown advisory board, which I'm not sure if any of y'all were there. Main Street has had some pretty loud,
Oh, yeah.
amplified buskers. And so at the downtown board, we had voted to recommend to not allow electronic amplification. So we checked on that with the city attorney, and apparently there's case law that says we cannot disallow electronic amplification. Yeah, it just has to be at an appropriate volume. And so what they've told me is that the noise ordinance that we have, which I didn't think would be enforceable for it, but they seem to think it will be, is applicable. So we don't necessarily need to update the ordinance for it. So now having that information, I was going to have it today, but I didn't get it together because we just met about it the other day. Just a pamphlet.
You know what
Busker.
you know what the standard is? It's like 100 decibels.
It's like 60 or 75 decibels.
No, that's ambient. So,
It's a little bit higher, but you're.
yeah, so it
There's
should,
an act.
it should be somewhere around 80 decibels.
Tell you, plus.
We don't do like leaf blowers downtown, do we?
Let me pull up we have leaf blowers, but they're in the morning.
We do? Okay.
Yeah, the city goes through and does that, but they do it early in the morning. Cause when I've been here early doing like TV filming stuff, and then they come through with the leaf blowers.
All the police officers are gonna carry a noise dosimeter with them.
And no,
Turn it down.
and it's pretty much complaint.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's pretty much a complaint base, and whenever what brought all of it up was I was trying to put together this pamphlet or information. Cause I thought it already had disallowed amplification. I was wrong. And so then I was like, well, I can't put together this information to put out to people about noise, and then we have nothing to say. So now they're saying that's an enforceable thing. Cause what I told the police, I was like, I'm not necessarily concerned about the enforcement of it. I just want to get the information out to hopefully
Here's the
have
guy.
a little bit of self-policing on some of that.
I feel like that would be something self-policeable. If it was in front of my store, I'd just go, hey, can you?
Yeah, and there are specifically in the ordinance for the street performers, it is on the corners of the blocks.
Not in front of someone's store.
Yeah,
I've
And
had
there's-
people ask me,
Mhm.
very kind, come and ask if they can perform right in the little courtyard area.
And if there's ever.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, cause technically, like, they're all on the corners and there's. So then that, like, if they're problematic and they were there and they didn't go away, the police could come and tell them they've got to go to the corners, and they're marked by like these nails in the street that no one knows. So I was gonna do a map of that, so that way, if there is somebody like super obnoxious outside of Mass, you can give them that and they can at least go to the corner there, but some of them that have been playing on the corners, I can hear from 2-3 blocks away.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't even talk on the phone
Mhm.
while you're walking by them, it's so loud. So I'm hoping that just getting the information out will kind of help self-police that, where we don't necessarily.
This is off topic a little bit, but not completely. The cameras don't have sound at all, right?
I don't think so.
I was wondering if like some of the vehicles that just blare.
Oh, yeah.
If there was any way of connecting like the license plate to the sound level.
If all we have is a noise ordinance, then that's the same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything like that. Yeah, because there are vehicles that are loud, but that's even harder to enforce because,
Freedoms.
yeah, well, and like they're gone by the time anybody's there.
So if anyone's problematic from a business owner, same kind of thing, you can ask someone to leave, and if they don't, now they're trespassing, and now I gotta call the police, so, go somewhere else.
Yeah, and that's something that when I can get that together, we can give the businesses that plus the homeless information.
That's the go-to strategy. I tell my people, if you don't want to deal to them, just ask people to leave, whatever reason, you can ask them to leave. And if they refuse or they start fighting you, now you're trespassing, and just don't engage with them, call the police.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, yeah, hopefully we can have that, just, yeah, that information to help kind of at least have them just turn that knob down a couple of notches. Yeah, so those were the main things for today, and then I just kind of had a list of just things that we've been talking about was the commercial maintenance. I'll have an update on that right now. We are working on, so 625 7th Avenue East had asked for a facade grant. But that building, so that's, I'm trying to think, there's the groomer at the one end, the far east end, and then, so it's that whole brick building.
It's across from Shakedown Lounge, the Kava bar.
Yeah, but not where the junk store was, the other one. So they had, is a realtor going in at 625, and she had asked for facade grants, and I was like, I really would like to do it for the whole building. We're gonna do it at all, and maybe take down that awning and have them as individual storefronts. So we're working with UNC Greensboro to do some design services for that. They just sent me an email the other day, so hopefully we'll get that back
Do they
soon.
have a community design center at UNC?
Yeah, they work with the Main Street program,
Uh-huh.
free design services, so they've done several of them
Good.
for us. So it's good, free resource. The design centers for 7th Avenue, I don't have a current update for that. That's kind of ties into with the commercial maintenance.
Yeah.
The office space, and we had our focus groups a little bit ago, so waiting to hear back on the feasibility study. And on the elevator lift, we've found another elevator company because Asheville Elevator is not a responsive company at all, but we've got a new contract with the city on an elevator company, and we're meeting with them tomorrow because I just want to get that done. Parking budget update. Around this time last year, we did an update just with the board on that. I don't have updates on the numbers for how we are looking for this year for the last few months, but that might be something that we can get together here pretty soon. Just to kind of see where we are. It doesn't look like it's anything that's terribly down, except for, the month of October, but not really as far as revenues.
I'm sure the Apple Fest and Art on Main
Arnhem was big, it was huge.
blew it out of the water.
Yeah,
I know it was full for Art on Main, and of course, I don't get near Apple Fest, so.
yeah, and for the Apple Festival, and Garden Jubilee, we do the event flat rate for $10 and then have Hope Coalition's been coming in and helping with it. So yeah, last year, I think it was like $30,000 or something with that the Apple Festival made for the garage. And then I think probably we do it at a flat rate of hourly per volunteer with a certain number and set hours. I think it was like maybe $5,000 or $6,000 that Hope Coalition has received for the Apple Festival, which it works good because just having the people in there helping people get out.
Did you lose some from that, whatever glitch happened with the?
We really lost when, like, at the end of the day, whenever the people weren't working it, we just opened the gates. And so we probably lost a few $1,000s each day. Which we are working on having some conversations with our contractor on the parking. They handle the parking garage equipment and parking meters. And are having some conversations with them,
With the city.
getting better, maybe. Um, and then this is just some of the new businesses coming and going, and side grants that we may expect at some point or another, just people who've contacted me.
Yeah, and I'll give you an update on.
Oh, yeah.
314 North Main, because it seems like it's going nowhere, because I feel like of all people, it would happen to me. We ran into an issue, had a new survey done, which shows we own, if you look in the alley, we're the only building not built all the way to the alley. All the other buildings are built to the alley. And we own to the alley, and so our new design, we're adding on to the back of the building,
Ooh,
which is, I mean, you've seen some of the design stuff, but structural engineer is now starting to work on his, but what we ran into is I have 4 gas meters and 4 power meters
In the middle of the thing.
in my space that don't.
Oh.
They're all, yeah, so we then had to hire an attorney. He had to research to make sure, yes, we own the rights to the air rights, wall rights, like all the rights. And we do. We found it all the way, he researched all the way back to 1900. So then we've had to contact building owners to say, listen, like, we need you to move these.
Yeah,
Reload.
And I don't think they intentionally, I think that
No.
probably the easiest
No,
place for the gas company and power company to put all those meters and lines and
Yeah.
everything, and that's what they did. So now we have to give them a time frame to say.
oh, man.
oh,
That's Dominion and Duke.
Bridge and Duke. Yeah, and I've met with both of them and they're like, yeah, they can be moved, but
On their
it
time.
costs some money. And I'm like,
We get paid again?
it's all 4 different building owners too?
No, it's only 2 building owners.
Okay, well, that's,
I've already spoke to the Children's Museum, that building. It's, that one wall is like all of their stuff.
okay.
He's been super.
Yeah, that one should be
Super nice.
too bad.
The other one, we wrote a certified letter to and I have our,
Is that Hannah's,
it's the building owner for Hannah. I mean, it's not Hannah's and
Yeah.
it's the owner.
Carol, right? That owns that one?
I can't-
It's on her board, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Carol Sitzer owns that building.
That's it.
Yeah, and we've heard nothing from them, so I don't know what our next step will be. We gave them till the end of the year, like, please remember, you got months.
Mhm.
So,
Do you,
we're trying to work.
do you need other contacts for them, or you're just trying to go through like?
I don't have a phone number. All we had was the tax record, like where the tax bill was mailed, and that's where I mailed the certified letter to, but who knows if, I don't know if they got it. I mean,
I can,
check, yeah.
Yeah.
You just need a way to contact them to say, we need this moved, relocated.
yeah, I can, I'm pretty sure she owns that one, cause I'll find that and let you know on that.
Appreciate it. So anyway, that's where 314 North,
Yeah.
but it is coming. We're hoping that once the engineer has his stuff, we can start, I'm hoping beginning of the next year, if we can get all these things moved.
The bummer.
Mhm.
What's in the previous beehive?
That's the Bardega.
Mhm.
They've not been, I've talked to them once, I think they weren't really. Didn't have much to say when I was talking to them, I said, you know, here, but information for you, and they said, okay, great, and then that was about it. That's just around the corner, where the Beehive used to be, next to the Optimum.
Oh.
Yeah, so they've been working on it. It looks like it's getting close to being done. Yeah, and like on their awning, it says basically kind of like a convenience, beer and wine.
And stuff.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's something that it's kind of needed.
Actually,
Yeah,
they're probably gonna do all right if they.
they do it right.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I don't know on their timing or anything.
When When a group of us walked by there, they thought, convenience, what do they mean by convenience? And it's not called out.
Yeah, I'm curious about.
Yeah, I'd say stuff like that would be kind of in like a gas station or a bodega
Stuff.
type of.
I use the word bodega, but nobody uses that.
No, no.
You know?
Yes.
North Carolina.
Yeah, basically what would be in a gas station type of like
Yeah, convenience store.
snacks and
Like,
and stuff like that is what I would,
there's nothing like that downtown.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's kind of neat.
Sherman's closing. And they own their building, Sherman's does. So I've been talking with her. So they're gonna still own it and rent it. I know
Is that
several.
upstairs in use?
The upstairs is I think it's either an apartment or an Airbnb, but I can't remember. And they've got a downstairs, so I think I want to say it was 4,000 square feet, upper floor, a little less than 4,000 in the basement.
It's a good size,
Yeah,
much more approachable than some of the properties.
yeah, and I think they probably will be reasonable with the rent. I hope that that's a good corner
It is a good
Mhm.
corner.
and a visible corner, so I hope it's something good. I've been checking in with them. Just over on the other side of the street on Fourth Avenue where it was the wine slushy place, a little next to Rudy's. There's gonna be a smoothie place coming in there, which is also something that we haven't had, so that'll be a good one. Emporium Market had opened right before the Apple Festival on the corner on that same block. And Boho Window over on Sixth Avenue. And then the owner of OP Taylor's, Kingdom Harvest and Splurge, they own all of those buildings. And I know 418 OP Taylor's building's listed for sale. And they had said that the other two were gonna be listed, and I haven't checked back to see if they're listed or not yet. I talked to the realtor when they put it out on the street. And I also talked to OP Taylor's because owner occupied is,
Yeah.
we always talk about. And they seemed like they were interested in buying it, but were not necessarily interested in the price that it was getting listed for. And so it's been a few weeks since I talked with them because, OP Taylor is a good business to have, and to be there. So I'm not sure where that stands because they own other properties too, so they'd be in a position to be able to buy it. But I'm not sure where they stand with it. It sounded like they had put in an offer and it wasn't.
What's Boho? Sorry.
Boho. It's just like a little,
It's like
Yeah.
a clothing store. The
Yeah.
kid, TAs at White Dog love it.
like a hippie clothes store.
Yeah.
It's really nice over next to the Thai place on Sixth, and they've done a really good job putting everything together over there. Yeah, and the Avenue sign over on Sixth, I'm updating that because we didn't get new ones for there because point in that direction, so they're working on that right now. Yeah, so that's really all the updates I've got right now. Moving and changing businesses that are put together. So there's several properties that are coming up, so it'll be interesting on that. The owner of that one, OP Taylor, Kingdom Harvest and Splurge, that building, I don't think they lived here. And it was like being in a family type of property. So that could make a big difference.
This is channeling Jerry now. But given the number of changes and new people and so on and so forth, I was wondering, would it be worth looking again at sort of that outreach welcome, thing that we did where you try to help inform.
Do like a walk.
Emergence, yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, just to help with the history, it's almost like an orientation.
Mhm.
And maybe that's the way to look at it. It's just, we're so glad you're here, welcome. You might want to have some of this information for you and your staff. People come in, you all, like your locals.
Yeah,
in here.
yeah, that's
Oh,
good. That is a good point if we can get people, because
maybe,
especially with new people.
yeah, with new,
Because then like, when you can get them in when they're new
Yeah.
people, it's a lot easier to work with them
yeah.
than when it's.
And it's another one of those nice
Mhm.
alms that you're.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
that's a
it's-
good point. Hmm.
Didn't get the turnout last time we did it, but it's still a good idea.
Yeah, I'll put that on the list, that's especially with the, it's a good point. Okay.
All right, well, that's all the bullet points, unless anybody has any other business. We can move to adjourn.
Place is jagged out, me.
How was the volume in the room?
It's better.
Better, less echoey?
It's nice.
Like the little thing, put them on the ceiling.
Nah,
I've got 6 left, where we can place them.
Got more.
Yeah, well, good. And next week will be the real tell when it's full on the board members.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks, everybody. Thanks, Nancy. Thanks, Linda.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Bye.
Good job.
Bye.
Oh, yes.
Leave it out there, but.